In just a very short period of time, Maria went from explaining airline delays to very unhappy people for $35,000 a year to preventing AI disasters for $175,000. In today's episode, we're going to show you how she did it so you can too.
Welcome to Laffin with Lincoln, where we make modern AI historically simple. Today's story starts with an airline customer service representative who was about to discover something that would change her life forever.
While you're debating whether AI is worth your time, Maria from Chicago just landed a $175,000 a year strategy role. 9 months ago, she was explaining flight delays to angry passengers for $35,000 a year.
That's quite the leap. Reminds me of young soldiers who became generals during the war. Opportunity and determination can lead to remarkable transformations.
If she was in customer service, Abe, she's got the patience of Job. I'd say she's already earned her stripes.
Setting the scene, it's Terminal C, O'Hare International, February 14th, 2023, Valentine's Day. A snowstorm had just shut down Dallas, creating a domino effect across the entire system. And Maria, she was about to start her 12th straight hour of explaining the unexplainable, wondering if she'd ever escape the chaos.
A snowstorm causing chaos. Sounds like a regular day in Washington. The only thing missing is a heated debate.
Or a cold cup of coffee. She's got grit, I'll give her that. Probably more patience than most politicians I've ever met.
If she'd been in Congress, Twain, I think the debates might have been more productive and shorter.
Maria's daily reality was relentless. Her mornings began at 6 a.m. with system updates and flight changes. By 8 a.m., she was dealing with the first wave of misconnections. At 10 a.m., she had to explain delayed flights, and by 2 p.m., she was investigating lost baggage. If she was lucky, she made it home by 7 o'clock. On days like Valentine's Day, she barely had time to grab lunch, let alone think about her future.
That's the kind of perseverance that builds nations. Though I imagine it's a bit more difficult with people yelling in your ear.
I'd wager even the Mississippi wasn't as turbulent as Maria's day, and at least the river doesn't shout at you.
And that's when Maria noticed something different. Amid the chaos, a lone passenger sat calmly working on their phone. No screaming, no demands for a manager, just quietly solving their travel crisis by themselves. Intrigued, Maria walked over. She was curious about what could possibly make someone so serene in the middle of all that airport meltdown.
Ah, serenity amidst chaos. Reminds me of General Grant, cool as ice under fire.
Or a man who's just learned his train ticket is refundable. Either way, he's on to something.
The passenger showed Maria their phone, revealing they were using something called ChatGPT to reroute their entire trip. No rage required, just a few prompts and instant solutions. Maria couldn't believe it.
A tool like that, if used wisely, could change the whole game, like the telegraph did for the Union.
Or like the paddle wheel steamboat did for commerce. Once you sit in action, there's no going back.
That night, after 12 grueling hours of human emotions at their finest, Maria couldn't stop thinking about what she'd seen. One passenger, one AI tool, and 0 screaming matches. She realized there had to be a better way, not just for travelers, but for herself.
That moment of realization is what separates the great from the average. Like a farmer who sees the potential of a new plow. Those who act on their realizations reap the benefits of it.
And her curiosity led her to Google. She typed in, "What is ChatGPT?" What started as just a simple inquiry turned into a rabbit hole of discovery.
That's how I felt when I first read the Constitution. A simple curiosity that became a lifelong study.
Or when I tried cigars for the first time. One leads to 100, and before you know it, you're hooked.
YouTube's algorithm took her on a journey. She started with videos like ChatGPT Explained Simply and AI Basics for Beginners. Then came deeper dives, how AI is changing everything, and real ways to use ChatGPT at work. Each video sparked new ideas.
What began as casual curiosity turned into an obsession. Every break, every lunch hour, every quiet moment between chaos, Maria was learning. Terms like neural networks and machine learning, once intimidating, they started making sense. Natural language processing? That could actually help people like her.
It's like learning to command an army. Complex at first, both with study and practice, it becomes second nature.
Maria began to see passenger problems differently. Behind every angry traveler was a broken process, unclear communication, or a solution that could be faster. AI, she realized, might be the key to fixing it all.
That's the kind of insight that changes systems, like realizing the union needed a railroad to unify it.
One quiet night shift, Maria decided to test what she'd learned. Using ChatGPT, she drafted templates for common scenarios, weather delay explanations, rebooking options, hotel voucher processes, and baggage tracking updates. It wasn't perfect, but it was a start.
Her first big win came when she used one of these templates to help a particularly frustrated passenger. The passenger's mood changed instantly. Maria saw the potential for something bigger.
Her colleagues began to notice a difference. Responses were faster, explanations were clearer, solutions were better, and most shocking of all, passengers were calmer.
The numbers backed it up. Response times dropped by 40%. Customer satisfaction increased by 35%. Complaint escalations fell by half. Team stress levels noticeably decreased. Maria was onto something.
Numbers like those can't be ignored. That's the kind of progress that wins wars, or in this case, hearts and minds.
And maybe even a promotion or two.
Maria's success didn't stop with templates. She started thinking bigger. Could ChatGPT automate more processes? Could it assist her entire team? Could it even predict and prevent passenger issues before they even occurred?
She began experimenting with ChatGPT in new ways, like drafting proactive passenger notifications or even creating training materials for new employees. The possibilities seemed endless.
His work didn't just help her department. Other teams started reaching out for advice. Customer relations wanted her templates, training managers wanted her guides. Even executives took notice, seeing her innovations as a model for future projects.
That's a hallmark of true leadership. When your work inspires others, you know you've made an impact.
And when the executives notice, you know you're about to have some very interesting meetings.
6 months into her journey, Maria stumbled across a job posting. It said, AI Implementation Specialist. What was required? Experience implementing AI solutions in customer service environments.
It felt like it was written just for her. She had the experience, the results, and the drive. The only thing left was to take that leap.
She prepared like her future depended on it, because it did. Every metric documented, every success story polished, every implementation mapped out. This wasn't just an interview. This was her moment. By the time she walked into the interview, she wasn't just ready, she was confident.
Confidence is half the battle. The other half, a good story backed by facts.
And maybe some snacks, like a good stiff drink. Goes better on a full stomach.
The result? Maria landed that job with a $175,000 a year salary plus bonuses. Her life, once defined by chaos and frustration, had transformed into one of purpose and achievement.
Maria's story is proof that AI isn't just about technology. It's about people, those willing to learn, adapt, and create solutions.
Her journey reminds me of the resilience and determination that built this country. With the right tools and the right mindset, anything is possible.
It doesn't hurt to have a bit of curiosity, and maybe a calm passenger or two to show you the way.
Be sure to join us next time for Maria's AI certification journey, the free course that changed everything. Until then, if you liked today's episode, please leave a like and subscribe below this video.
And that's all the time we have left for today's episode of Laffin with Lincoln. For Abraham Lincoln, Mark Twain, and Mabel, I'm Luke Laffin. We'll see you next week.